He's not responsible for all the violence sweeping across Haiti's capital, but be under no doubt he's at the centre of it. His fighters are never far away. Is this now all your territory? Because it was an open road when I was last here.
Yeah.
Jimmy Chirizier, universally referred to here as Barbecue, is the head of one of the most powerful gangs in Port-au-Prince. But he's also the head of a gang consortium that's brought Haiti to its knees. He took us through the roadblocks of buses they've put in place to stop police raids on his territory. That territory now extends over one of the city's main roads, an economic highway he controls in its entirety.
Mais tout en l'air, tout côté regarder net yo, on s'excuse monsieur. Tout côté regarder le net yo, tout ce territoire.
All the way to the bridge?
Yeah. On se nous voulons nous passer là, nous passer là, nous gagne monde tout devant, nous gagne l'autre négazam qui tout devant.
Barbecue sees himself as a revolutionary for the people, and he rails against corrupt politicians and oligarchs. He dismisses all the efforts underway here to form a transitional council that will govern Haiti. But for the first time, he's told Sky News he would consider a ceasefire and talks if his people are represented. This is significant.
Nous croyons dans dialogue. Nous pour dialogue, nous toujours prôner pour un dialogue. Mais groupe moun sa qui la classe politique ça qui là, yo pas là pour dialogue. Raison parce que yo pas pour Haïti dans cœur ou même avec nous. Classe politique qui là y a fait une exclusion côté que y a dit bandi négazam baladan. Mais son façon pour renouveler le système Jean Lia parce que le système arrive dans bout li. Et écart qui gagne entre moun riche et moun pauvre en Haïti en li trop. Dans le monde entier gagne écart entre moun riche et moun pauvre. Mais Jean le fait en Haïti ali indécent. En nous prêt toute solution depuis c'est haïtien qui sous table. Nous même nous prêt pour nous chita parler avec tout le monde parce que ça qui passe dans pays là nous pas fiers.
I suppose, though, for talks to take place, the weapons would have to go down.
Et Zamio a bien pour yo baisser, les pour yo baisser. Dans moment nous pouvons arriver dans phase pour nous baisser Zamio parce que et moun qui là pour confléter la raison. Nous avons plus passé 2 à 3 ans depuis qu'on a prôné un dialogue, depuis qu'on a demandé pour tout le monde chita sous table pour nous dialoguer avec monsieur qui gagne Zamio. Personne ne va le entendre nous. Et je dis à nous venons une situation pour que nous pas avancer. Nous avons un objectif non clair.
While this is a major development, he worryingly predicts that the fighting is far from over.
Pas rien qui calme. Et les gouvernements faut qu'on qu'il est pour avancer, qu'il est pour replier. Je pense que chaque jour passé, nous avons utilisé une nouvelle stratégie pour nous capables d'avancer. Pas rien qui calme. Et dans le jour qui vient là, on va le plus mal que Jean-Louis là. Parce que tout autant, nous pas jouer un bout de système ça. Tout autant, nous pas choisi de mettre tout le monde sous table là. Tout autant vivre ensemble sous table là. Pour nous venir, pour nous chita, pour nous parler. Tout autant nous pas de représentants nous. Parce que je dis, conseil présidentiel, 7 membres, ça nous pas de représentants nous. Nous pas de représentants nous. C'est le même système qui va le régénérer encore pour continuer tout pays qui est dans le quartier populaire. Je dis, il faut nous représenter. Et là, nous représenter, nous là pour nous défendre droit nous et que nous sommes capables de dire OK, nous chita et nous faisons partie de solutions qu'on a ensemble continuer à solution pour payer la paix. Mais tout autant nous pas sous table là, payer ça pas jamais en paix.
Inside his territory, despite the poverty, life is relatively peaceful and organised. Unlike in much of Port-au-Prince, queues for food barbecue gets brought in are orderly. Usually it's chaos, but here people wait knowing that there are enough supplies for the whole community. And this is a source of barbecue's strength. To the outside world he may be a gangster, but here he's a sort of Robin Hood.
Well, we're right in the heart of barbecue's gangland territory, and I have to say the atmosphere here is very different to large parts of the rest of Port-au-Prince. It's much more chilled, much more relaxed. There's aid distribution, it's not chaotic. What the sense you get from this is that people feel safe inside here. The battlefield is outside the barricades, which is over there. Here, This is much more like a normal town.
Watched on by his well-armed and battle-hardened soldiers, Barbecue says that plans for an international force led by Kenya to impose peace in Port-au-Prince will lead to more violence, whoever is in charge of it.
The last time we met, you said if a foreign intervention was to happen here, poor people would die in the fighting. There is talk of it being Kenyans coming. Could you do business with them?
Si Kenya yo vini, premièrement, yo va venir faire massacre dans le quartier populaire parce que oligarques yo avec politiciens yo pour l'orienter yo vers le quartier populaire sous prétexte qu'il y a vinn décider les bandits, sous prétexte qu'il y a vinn décider les gangs, yo pral entrer dans le quartier populaire yo et que pour venir faire massacre. À ce moment-là, nous-mêmes qui avons des armes, nous ne pouvons pas quitter ça. Mais je dis à des choses qui ont été évolué. Je dis à depuis militaires kenyans sont entrés, ou bien policiers kenyans, whatever, en l'autre police.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about Kenya's place in this battle. I think Kenya's got enough problems themselves, and I think it's one of the first times a African nation has entered the Caribbean. For myself, I feel it's a bit late for the continent of Africa to be looking at places like the Caribbean, and I would have preferred to have seen more trade and more communication. I didn't expect a military presence from Africa, so I guess that's just something to witness and to see. If I'm not happy about that, but that's just my personal opinion. Let's get back to the video.
Prétexte qu'il y a vinn décider les bandits, sous prétexte qu'il y a vinn décider les gangs, yo pral entrer dans le quartier populaire et que pour venir faire massacre. À ce moment-là, nous-mêmes qui avons des armes, nous ne pouvons pas quitter ça. Mais je dis à des choses qui ont été évolué. Je dis à depuis militaires kenyans sont entrés, ou bien policiers kenyans, whatever, en l'autre policier qui est entré, nous avons considéré comme des agresseurs. Nous avons considéré comme des envahisseurs. Et je dis à nous pas collaborer avec aucun envahisseur, aucun agresseur qui vient sortir pour passer indépendance pays nous en papier. Nous avons continué n'importe façon.
The road Barbecue now controls is all but deserted. The signs of battle, the burnt-out cars and the deserted buildings, are the visual signs of uprooted families who've been forced to flee in their tens of thousands. He says he's trying to rein in the more violent gangs. He says they need to change their ways or risk losing their revolution.
Vivre ensemble son leadership collectif lié. Et moi pas qu'à utiliser la force contre monsieur. C'est mal utiliser la force contre son gourmet perpétuel la vie. Nous pas jamais qu'à faire ça, nous besoin faire contre monde qui mettait situation ça. Mais chaque jour, parfois nous parler 7 8 fois dans téléphone pour à chaque fois que me tendez dans nouvelle, soit au kidnapping pour monde, soit gon bagay qui pas bon, qui fait nous toujours les messieurs dans téléphone pour regarder ensemble comment nous capable corriger ça. Et même yo même tout qui t'a fait là, je dis à yo commencer à prendre conscience que et ça pas bon, nous pas faire encore.
Jimmy Cherizier, a former policeman and self-proclaimed man of the people, he paused to fly a kite. An Easter tradition here, laughing and joking with his people. A criminal to many, but an unlikely hero in his territory, no ordinary society needs people like Barbecue. But Haiti isn't normal. How or when it can achieve normality is impossible to predict. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Port-au-Prince.
Yeah, I must agree with Stuart Ramsey there. With any kind of revolutionary cause, there must be some part where you have to see what happens. You had the French Revolution, the England had the Civil War. military coups or political instability is not solely a Haitian problem. It's a problem that can be found across the globe. And what I've seen is a lot of suffering that the people are subjected to. Some may say Mao made China great again, but at a heavy cost to the people. At a heavy cost to the people. So let's have a look and see about Haiti and its past rulers. A little history of Haiti. This is part 1. I guess before that, let's have a quick look at this video. I've just seen this pop up. Let's have a quick look.
Les bandits savent qu'ils peuvent commettre toutes les exactions qu'ils veulent et qu'ils ne seront jamais jugés, jamais condamnés.
Aujourd'hui, des bandits ont des armes que la police nationale ne détient pas.
Nous ne pouvons pas voyager. Côté nous, jeunes Sam ça.
Les bonnes armées sont devenues puissantes parce qu'ils sont aidés et encouragés par des bras puissants.
The added on troubles of Haiti was when their prime minister was assassinated. Unbelievably, in his own residence. There's not been much investigation into that, but I would have presumed that would have come under a war crime to assassinate a democratically, in inverted commas, elected president. Your thoughts?
That now controls more than 80% of the capital. The economy is in ruins. The humanitarian situation is dire.
On est obligé d'y aller.
The other thing I uncover throughout most of these stories that I've encountered is the resilience of people of Haiti in the Caribbean, in the diaspora, but especially in Haiti. For an example, how would other countries deal with the problems that they're faced with? So, in some ways, it shows great resilience that they're actually still surviving. Whether the survival is difficult, I can only imagine. Reporting from London, far away from the Caribbean. Field work is essential, and field work definitely can be dangerous, as we can see this resident here passing through a rough neighborhood of Haiti. But it's not something that started months or weeks ago. This has been an issue in Haiti from its very conception. Let's watch on. And again, also to add to the resilience, the sparks of brilliance. Places like Haiti, places in the Caribbean, places in Africa, the possession of creativity of black people under the sun is not to be sniffed at all. Riflemen. So again, it also does show the resilience that people are still able to express themselves creatively, or to keep going on, keep fighting, keep surviving, keep going in times of, you could basically, this is a civil war matter, what's going on in Haiti. As I said before, the government's, the president was assassinated, and a huge power vacuum has now occurred. Let's watch on. I guess that's Lights Out Tony from whoever was inside the viewfinder. So this is an absolute tragedy unleashing again in Haiti. There must be a level of diplomacy and communication. You can't fight forever. There comes to a point where arms must be put down and negotiations must be held to end this spiral of violence that we can see across the globe. Only until diplomatic relations, communication has been restored will we see any steps to making a solution out of this problem. Can't work any other way.
One officer tells us anyone here is considered a suspect. Open about the fact that gangs have long been fueled by the political elite.
Dans notre histoire, il y a toujours eu une certaine connivence entre les autorités étatiques et les bandits pour gagner les élections, pour occuper des espaces de pouvoir. Je crois qu'il faut reconnaître la vérité et c'est-à-dire l'assumer de manière à réformer ce qui mérite d'être réformé.
Crier et augmentation pour capable passer gaz, passer drogue, pour capable de créer ça le trafic d'armes. Bon, nous même jeunes, je ne dis à qui nous amène nous, c'est pas d'objectif nous ça. C'est pas pour nous ça, pas nous pas préparer une pour ça.
One thing I always see, and it's the weaponry. I mean, I must be careful for what I say now, but I mean, acquiring such hardware, it can't be cheap. Can't be cheap, and sometimes it's as if the weapons are in better shape than the individuals that are carrying the weapons. I don't mean to be snobby. Maybe I am being snobby, so apologies for that. But you know, on one side you have people homeless, or people have insufficient food supplies, healthcare issues. And then on the other side you have armed militias, whether they be gangs or armies or mercenaries, but they're fully equipped with weapons, and again the balance, it seems the balance is more in some of these countries is more on the weapon side than on the help side. Your thoughts? And by the way, I again another spark of brilliance there. The music. I may not agree with. I'm not sure what gang he's a part of. But again, the music, the lyrics. I'm gonna have to actually find that song, and that will be one of my intros for a live. It's very interesting, and again, it shows our brilliance if we allowed to flower. And again, in such circumstances. So imagine if the circumstances were better. And again, the music, the art, everything would change as well, obviously, because of the conditions have changed. And some of the best music has come out of the poor. Some of the greatest ideas, some of the greatest people have come from the poor, and that just shows you resilience as well, of poor people, which are the ones that are the ones that suffer the most in these conflicts. Let's see a little bit more until this video finishes, and I'll see you for part 2.
Voici l'homme. Il faut faire d'image. Si presque résistance.
Also, wait, there'll be part 2 for Thomas Sankara. I am currently investigating what I can on Africa's current situation with the likes of Ibrahim Traore, and also historical, short historical documentaries about the countries. I hope you're enjoying the content. If not, let me know if there's any improvements. Well, hey, no one's perfect, eh? So yes, we'll watch at the end of the video till this video stops recording, and I'll catch you next time.
They control a major road linking Port-au-Prince to Haiti's south.
Pour passer d'une zone à une autre, tu tombes sur un poste de péage de bandits armés. Ça veut dire que tu dois lui payer un droit de passage. Nous payons les bandits armés pour avoir le droit de circuler dans notre propre pays.